If Blackbeard got 2 devil fruits, what would stop Luffy from entering the final battle with 2 fruits to even the playing field? Okay, even if this were possible, what would be the best devil fruit for Luffy to take into that battle? Come closer because I'll show you which devil fruits would best complement Luffy's rubber-based attacks and powers. Mera Mera no Mai. We've seen that one of Luffy's strongest moves is his Gomu Gomu no Red Hawk, which is a direct attack using his rubber arm. By using friction, Luffy can generate fire to cause even more damage to his opponent. This is a beautiful technique from Luffy that's quite effective. We saw him use it to counter Hody Jones on Fishman Island, where Hody had a high resistance due to being a Triton and drug-induced. He also used it against Doflamingo, but it wasn't enough to decisively defeat him. He even tried it against Kaido, but it was just one of many attacks that Kaido shrugged off. The fact is, Luffy likes this technique and typically uses it against stronger opponents. However, it's not usually a lethal attack that takes down the toughest foes. Now, imagine Luffy in possession of the Mera Mera no Mi's powers. He would be capable of emanating intense flames from any part of his body. He could enhance each attack he delivers, and given Luffy's intelligence in creating new techniques, he could merge the flames masterfully with his punches. Just imagine the spectacle of a fire-powered punch machine gun. It would be absolutely incredible to watch. Magu Magu no Mi. The devil fruit of the volatile Admiral Akainu would actually be even better for Luffy than Ace's flame-based fruit. This fruit grants the user the ability to create and control magma, a substance that is even more lethal than fire. I mentioned how potent Luffy could become with fire powers enveloping his body to enhance his attacks, right? Well, that would be even more potent if Luffy had the Magma fruit. This is because, unlike normal flames, magma has a much greater range. It can melt metals, rocks, and virtually any substance in its path. This characteristic makes magma attacks more lethal, giving Luffy a significant advantage in intense confrontations. Now, let's consider the intensity of magma compared to regular fire. Magma is incandescent, much denser, and at a higher temperature than natural flames. This feature not only makes magma attacks more potent, but also longer lasting and capable of melting virtually anything in their way. Not to mention, this is by far the most offensive fruit in the entire series. Akainu, whenever he delivered his attacks, showed that his fighting power is on a completely different scale, whether by splitting Whitebeard's head or opening Jinbei's and Ace's chests with a single blow. This would only be amplified with Luffy's fast and lethal rubber pistol attacks. The Gomu Gomu no Magma pistol would be a punch propelled not just by the force of elasticity, but also by the incandescent power of magma, resulting in devastating damage that would be even more effective against powerful enemies. Hana Hana no Mi. Certainly, Robin's Hana Hana no Mi would be one of the most useful for Luffy. Luffy could use the Hana Hana no Mi to multiply his limbs. This ability would allow him to attack from multiple angles at once, overwhelming his opponents and increasing his effectiveness, both offensively and defensively. And imagine if, during an intense fight, Luffy used the Hana Hana no Mi to create body parts in completely unexpected locations. This ability to surprise opponents by strategically generating limbs could confuse and destabilize even the most experienced adversaries. It might be the perfect fusion between the elasticity of the Gomu Gomu no Mi and the additional limbs created by the Flower fruit. Luffy would have the ability to perform innovative strikes, combining rubber flexibility with unexpected and unpredictable attacks, making him an even more formidable fighter. Moreover, the Hana Hana no Mi could be used defensively, creating obstacles and shields from body parts. This strategic technique would provide Luffy with an additional layer of defense. Considering the potential of the Hana Hana no Mi to complement the Gomu Gomu no Mi, we can imagine an even more versatile and cunning Luffy in combat. The possibilities for strategies and innovative attacks would be practically limitless, elevating his status as one of the greatest pirates in the world. Pika Pika no Mi. The Pika Pika no Mi grants the user the ability to transform into light, offering unmatched tactical advantages and movement speed. This would not only give Luffy incredible speed, but also the ability to instantly move across the battlefield, making him practically untouchable. Think of Luffy's attacks at light speed. An example would be the Gomu Gomu no Light Speed Punch, a punch delivered so quickly that the opponent would struggle to react. With the ability to transform into light, Luffy could dodge enemy attacks impeccably and surprisingly. His agility would outmatch any opponent, giving him a unique strategic advantage. Now, combining this light speed capability with the stretching power of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, Luffy would have an unbeatable combination. He could extend his limbs over incredible distances in a fraction of a second, catching opponents off guard. If Luffy is already naturally fast, imagine what he could do with all the speed that Kizaru possesses. Yami Yami no Mi. The Yami Yami no Mi grants the user the ability to manipulate darkness. The darkness created by this fruit can absorb anything, including the abilities of other Akuma no Mi users. This would make Luffy an unpredictable and extremely versatile threat in combat. Imagine Luffy using the Yami Yami no Mi to nullify his enemy's powers. Additionally, Luffy could combine the flexibility of the Gomu Gomu no Mi with the darkness of the Yami Yami no Mi in innovative ways. For example, stretching his limbs secretly in the shadows before launching a surprise attack. But most importantly, he could deal attacks while nullifying the Akuma no Mi powers of his opponents. This would be absolutely game-changing in the fight Luffy had against Kaido. Think about it. One of the main reasons Kaido withstood so much punishment from Luffy was the resistance of his dragon scales, which made his body significantly more durable. But if Luffy launched attacks covered in darkness, he could nullify Kaido's dragon scales, leaving his natural body completely vulnerable. This way, Luffy could quickly wear Kaido down with his punches. Buki Buki no Mi. The Buki Buki no Mi grants the user the ability to transform body parts into weapons. Its combat potential is immense, making the user a true arsenal of war. This is even more amplified with the rubber powers that Luffy possesses. For example, he could convert his fist into sharp swords, extending the range of his attacks significantly. An exciting example would be the Gomu Gomu no Pistol Blade, where Luffy would stretch his arm like a metallic blade, combining the elasticity of the Gomu Gomu no Mi with the sharpness of a weapon, delivering quick and cutting attacks. Additionally, Luffy could use the Buki Buki no Mi defensively, transforming parts of his body into shields or armor while still maintaining the flexibility provided by the Gomu Gomu no Mi. The worst part would be Luffy using the fifth gear. I won't lie to you, it would be incredible to see Luffy with these two fruits while in the fifth gear. You know the Mask cartoon? The protagonist in that cartoon has absurd Toon Force power, creating literally any weapon he wants in seconds. Luffy would definitely be an anime version of the Mask. Among all these fruits, which one do you think would make Luffy even stronger? Did we miss any? Comment down below and describe how that fruit would be. After commenting, click on the subscribe button. It's quick, costs nothing, and it'll help my work on YouTube. Come on, I entertained you for 10 minutes. Don't you think I deserve a subscription? Thank you for your attention and see you next time.